Today on Easy Simple Gardening, we're going to show you how to make a planter that looks like Baby Yoda. These planters are great for indoor or outdoor use and make great gifts. Here's everything you'll need. There's a detailed list of these items in the description below, along with the free stencil download link. Start off by cutting out all the stencils. We'll need these later. Paint one big pot and 2 small pots green. The exact colors we're using are listed in the description. Now while these pots are drying, let's make the ears. Use a pen to trace the ear stencil onto the floral foam, then cut it out. Cut this in half to make 2 perfectly symmetrical ears. This is optional, but I like to shave off the edges to give them more of a natural rounded look. Now we need to paint the ears, but because the floral foam is very porous, we're going to seal them first so that way the foam doesn't absorb all the paint. We're using white school glue to seal them. Brush the first coat on, let it dry, then apply a second coat. Once the ears are sealed dry, paint them green. After the paint dries, use a pen to trace the inner ear stencil onto the ear. Paint the insides of the lines you just traced and let it dry. Now that the ears are done, let's do the face. Use a Sharpie to trace each stencil onto the pot. There are directions on how to use this stencil on the stencil itself. Once the face is traced, fill in the eyes. You could consider the face finished with just a Sharpie because it already looks great, but we're going to paint the eyes with a high gloss black because we really want the eyes to pop. Once that dries, paint the reflections in the eyes and the corners of the eyes white. Now that the face is done, let's attach the ears. We're going to put the ears on opposite sides of the pot. But as you can see, the pot is curved, so it doesn't make great contact with the ears. So use your knife to cut a very slight V on the unpainted side. This is going to allow a much better contact with the pot. Now glue the ears on. Alright, now let's assemble the pots. Put one pot upside down and another pot on top. You'll notice these pots never line up perfectly, which causes them to wobble. So put some hot glue on the inside rim of the pot on top to keep it nice and sturdy. Now let's assemble the arms. Cut off about 16 inches of twine. Hold it up to the stencil and mark the twine on the indicated spots. Then tie a knot on the first mark. Slide the little green pot on and tie a knot at the next mark. Now slide an unpainted small pot on. You may need to double knot these depending on how thin your twine is. Now slide the other unpainted pot on the opposite way and make a knot at the second to the last mark. Lastly, slide the green pot on as far as it can go and make another knot at the last mark. This knot is at a difficult angle, so do your best. Now the arms are finished. Center this on top of the stacked pots and use hot glue to secure it. Now put hot glue on top all around the base and center your saucer on top. The saucer has 2 functions. First and foremost, it's going to catch any water that leaks out from the planter if it's accidentally overwatered. Also, it broadens the shoulders and helps support Baby Yoda's coat. Speaking of the coat, we're going to make a coat for Baby Yoda, but you don't have to. It's up to you how you want to proceed. If you're going to put this outside where it'll be exposed to rain and sun, I suggest not putting a coat on it. You can just paint all the pots this same color and call it finished. It still looks great, but I really want to make a coat. It's going to finish it off and give Baby Yoda that iconic look. Start by cutting a piece of burlap 48 inches wide by 18 inches tall and fold it in half so the dimensions are roughly 24 by 18 inches. Then fold over 1.5 inch fold at the top rim 3 times and hot glue it down. On the right side under the fold, cut 1 inch in. Fold a 1 inch flap over, then glue it down. Now that we have our collar and our front fold, flip it over and fold up the bottom about 1 inch and glue it down. Wrap it around the saucer, then hot glue it together. Right below the rim of the saucer on each side, cut a 3-inch vertical slit so that way we could poke the arms through. Now let's make the sleeves. Cut an 8-inch by 12-inch piece of burlap and fold it in half. To make the cuff, fold over 1 inch 2 times and glue it down. Wrap this around the arm and hot glue it together. Stuff the extra through the slit and do the same to the other side. Last but not least, use some extra burlap to fold and fill up the gap between the coat and the pot. If you're going to put this outside in direct sunlight, spray the pots with a clear coat of polyurethane glass finish. It'll last for years. And that's it. Thanks for watching. Don't forget to subscribe, share, and like.